Hey, you. You're finally awake. You were trying to cross the border, right? Walked right into that Imperial ambush, same as us.
You and me, we shouldn't be here. It's these Stormcloaks the Empire wants.
We're all brothers and sisters in binds now, thief.
My ancestors are smiling at me, Imperials. Can you say the same?
To the block, prisoner. Nice and easy.
Sentries! What do you see?
It's in the clouds!
Hey guys, what's happening? Niyat here with Film Comics Explained, and today we'll be taking a look at one of the most powerful dragons featured in the Elder Scrolls series, named Alduin, as featured in the 5th game of the franchise, Skyrim. Alduin the World Eater, as he's known by the inhabitants of Tamriel, was the offspring of Akatosh the dragon god of time, and the lead god in the Witch universe, who represented the qualities of endurance, invincibility, and everlasting legitimacy. His father Akatosh was also one of the 3 deities that could be found in almost every religion within Tamriel. Alduin, the first son of Akatosh, was essentially created to be the destroyer of worlds in a cycle that saw him both ending and creating worlds. Predating Nirn, the mortal plane on which Tamriel existed, which was created by Shor, the Nordic representation of the god Lorcan, Nordic myths asserted that Alduin was responsible for destroying the previous world, before creating the one in which Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim took place. Although Alduin, like his brethren who hailed from Akavir, the dragon land east of Tamriel, were all children of Akatosh, he alone was considered to be the father of modern dragon civilizations. After leaving the land to the east, the dragons began taking over Skyrim during the Merithic era, beginning with Atmora, where people had already begun to worship Alduin's might. Leading the dragons on an epic conquest in Tamriel, and ruling the land with an iron fist, Alduin gave the people of Skyrim one of 2 choices: to either worship him, or be enslaved by his will. Many who worshipped him broke off to create a group called the Dragon Cult, which was an organization of priests developed to appease Alduin. Composed of the first men to arrive from the continent of Atmora, the cultists were granted powerful masks in exchange for their obedience, and these can be picked up throughout the game at different locations in Skyrim. During the epic dragon war of the Merithic era, Alduin's lieutenant during the conquest was another dragon named Parthamax, who was also his younger brother. Although Parthamax eventually defected to become the leader of the Greybeards, he was said to have committed and witnessed unspeakable atrocities against mankind in his earlier days. Teaching humans the Thum, or dragon shouts as they were commonly known, Parthamax gave them the ability to use words of power like clear skies, fire breath, and slow time among others against the dragons themselves. Alduin was led to the throat of the world by 3 Nordic heroes who had perfected a dragon shout called Dragon Rend, which forced the enormous dragons to land on the ground. Using this unique dragon shout, which made Alduin more susceptible to their attacks, the heroes were able to use an Elder Scroll to send him into the future. With Alduin's disappearance, the rest of the dragons were soon hunted down across Tamriel, leaving only a handful, including Parthamax, who sat on the throat of the world. Built during the First Era by the Akaviri, Alduin's wall, which lay within Sky Temple, foretold of his resurgence, and this was also written within the Book of the Dragonborn, explaining that the World Eater would eventually return at times of peril, and his final return would coincide with the arrival of the last Dragonborn. After being thrust forward in time with the aid of the Elder Scroll, Alduin returned in the 4th Era during the Civil War for Skyrim. Initially making an appearance in Helgen, the dragon ironically enabled your playable character, the Dragonborn, who was due for execution, to make an escape. Alduin's arrival also saw a rapid increase in the number of dragons around, as he had the ability to resurrect all dragons that had gone, and this was due to the fact that dragons didn't actually die, with their life essence being preserved in a soul that could be used to bring them back. However, as a Dragonborn had the unique ability to absorb dragon souls, their death within his presence brought finality to their destruction. Finding the meaning of their destiny as they pressed through the epic game, and receiving tutelage from Alduin's younger brother, Parthamax, the Dragonborn was able to deal a minor defeat to Alduin at the throat of the world. This was of course before the final confrontation in Sovngarde, the Nordic afterlife which was created by Shor, where the Dragonborn, along with a handful of Nordic heroes, joined together to destroy Alduin once and for all. one of the most immersive open world games I've ever been fortunate enough to come across. Skyrim took a huge chunk of my life, with countless days having been spent travelling through the enormous outdoor landscapes, along with the multiple underground kingdoms that can be found across the land. With a whole list of different races with unique strengths and weaknesses to choose for your Dragon Ball, no two playthroughs of the game would ever be the same. If you're yet to play Skyrim, it's been released across multiple platforms now, and I'll leave a link to where you can purchase these below. Well, that's all for today, folks. Thanks to all of you guys who requested we take a look at Alduin, who was featured in Skyrim. If there's any other stuff you'd like me to check out, please don't hesitate to ask. Also, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification icon to stay up to date on all my content. As always, it's been a pleasure. Niyat here with Film Comics Explained. Thanks for stopping by.
Today, Alduin's lordship will be restored.
Sent you down to...
You do not understand. Alduin cannot be slain like a lesser dragon. He is beyond our strength. Which is why I brought the Elder Scroll.
Veldir, we agreed not to use it.